are worshiping God with all amount of relaxation. But the fathers of our faith, those who preserve the faith from the time of Jesus to the time that we have it today, they preserve this faith at the price of their blood. So to be a Christian in that time was to be a criminal, because worshiping God in the manner of Christianity was a crime, and it was a crime punishable by death. That is why immediately after the death of Jesus, you see how St. Paul persecuted the church. You see how Stephen was stoned to death. You see how James died by the sword. You see how the apostles were beaten, how they were being cruelly treated, brutally massacred in every street. And sometimes people will watch their death and clap as you clap for Chelsea in the football pitch. So, as of what the year 64 AD, under Emperor Nero, there was a very great persecution. At that time, Christians were being slaughtered, burnt, beheaded, thrown in for wild beasts. And after Nero, it continued. And this process continued until it took about 200 years more. In fact, close to 300 years. Because it was only in 311 AD that the Christian church somehow began to heave a sigh of relief. But before then, from Nero to Emperor Diocletian, there was a devastating bloodshed. Christian blood was spilled all over Rome. No wonder today, that same Rome, that same city, that sucked so much of Christian blood, has today become the head of Christianity. And we thank God for the Catholic Church that still maintains that ancient seat. No wonder Jesus said to Peter, "On this rock I shall build my church, and the gates of Hades shall not prevail against her." It was so cruel that even Fulton Sheen, when he was commenting on the persecution of the church, he said that the early church was a veritable hemorrhage of blood. And Tertullian, the great Christian writer, said that the blood of the martyrs was the seed of the church. And also in the year 135 AD, a particular emperor known as Emperor Adrian, in the course of persecuting the Christian church, he wanted to kind of desecrate whatever Christianity held as precious. And one of those places was the mountain of Calvary, the spot that Jesus was crucified. Emperor Adrian went to that spot and leveled the entire place, and in order to shame Christianity, he built the temple for the Roman gods Venus and Jupiter. And at that point, everybody thought that Christianity was completely annihilated, was completely gone. But when we got to the year 312 AD, God brought up a particular emperor known as Emperor Constantine.